And rolling.
Good morning. I just got back from dropping the girls off at school, an hour and a half late.
It was a rough
That
night.
tells you how we're doing.
It was a rough night. I could not sleep at all.
Yeah,
What the heck? It was really weird.
I woke up a few times and Dan was like wide awake trying to have conversations with me. I'm like, what?
I was bored. I was
What are we doing?
excited somebody would finally awake. I didn't have anybody else to talk to.
Yeah, we're still trying to catch up on sleep from not sleeping at the hospital. The girls went to bed late last night too. Our sleep schedule's just all screwed up, so I didn't want to wake them up when they were sleeping so soundly. And then I also didn't want to get out of bed, so I got out of bed to take our son to junior high at 7 and then crawled back in bed when I got home. But anyways, things are going good. What did you put the title of this live as?
Something about being back. Oh my goodness.
Dan's got his leg's pretty swollen still, and he's got bandages, and it's a little stiff, so he's gonna be having home health come in to help out with that.
Isn't it weird? Like, gross people out and show them how they, like, the fact that it's like the femur was broken. Like, this was all broken just the other day, and there's a rod through there, and now I, like, have it up on my lap. It's pretty crazy. So,
Yeah.
it's grossing me out, so I figured it'd gross you out, too.
Yeah, so, I think my biggest concern, and probably Dan's currently, is just keeping our fingers crossed and prayers said that the cellulitis infection stays gone all the time, because that's the leg that the infection was in, and which would be very bad if it got infected with the new hardware in there, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that'd be pretty lame. That's not gonna happen.
Nope.
Don't even need to talk like that.
Yeah. Oh. New hardware in there. So, hey Crystal, what's up? Yeah. So yesterday.
My leg's too fat.
Can I help you?
I got it. This time.
His leg keeps dropping off his lap while he's trying to put this sock thing on.
I have to wear that to keep the little foam bandages from coming off, and then now I can put my compression sock on.
Which is a total pain. Has anyone ever had to wear compression socks?
These are my weakest ones, which I'm doing on purpose because I don't feel like wrestling the regular ones against my leg right now.
Can I help you?
If you want to. Like, I'm right. If you want, you can.
I just don't want your leg to keep falling off your other leg super roughly. Doesn't seem like a good idea. So our next venture, good morning, Abbas Cooper. Our plan for today, at least my plan, we haven't discussed it fully, but I think we're on the same page, is that we need to get our van, our big white lifted van, listed to sell it, because we need to have a car that's easier for Dan to get into.
Oh, you didn't look at the list thing that we share. I was working on it last night, and that's on there.
Oh, I didn't know you were putting things on the list thing that we share. I thought that was my job. But
You weren't up talking with me, so.
Dan's just been planning our day in the middle of the night when he wasn't sleeping, I guess. Hi, Joy. Anyways, we gotta list our van for sale, because I don't know if you guys have seen our van in videos or whatever, but when we had our, did we buy that when we had Maisie or Marley?
But we got Marley when we needed the
So,
extra
yeah.
car seat space.
So when we went from 5 kids to 6, we needed something
For
larger
double
than
car seat, we had a Suburban.
yeah.
We had that
And
04
a mini.
Suburban.
We had a minivan and
Yeah.
a Suburban, but yeah, we had to have like an infant car seat and a toddler car seat. Actually, I think they were both backwards
Yeah,
facing.
they
By
were
the time Marley
back.
was born, they were both still in the baby car seats. And so we had to upgrade to a van that held teenagers, 2 teenagers, 2 tweens, 2 babies, Dan's wheelchair, me, the dog occasionally. So we had to upgrade to a bigger van, and we got an NV 3500. And then Dan wanted to make it look really cool, so we got a roof rack and a ladder. And he
Converted it to
lifted
four-wheel
it
drive.
3 inches, as if it wasn't already high enough, and then converted it to 4-wheel drive. So, yeah. So now it's lifted, and it. Most of you know Dan's been having shoulder problems for a couple years now. He's needed a shoulder replacement
Don't
surgery.
mind me, sorry, this is gross.
Dan's
food.
getting
Sorry.
ready, so you can see what the morning routine looks like. It takes forever and ever to get ready and put on compression socks and bandage wounds and all the things. But anyways, with Dan's shoulders being how bad they are right currently, he's had to like revamp and like adjust how he gets himself in and out of the van. And that was part of why he fell last week, because his shoulder is super painful. And
yeah, as I was getting out of the van and twisting my body to put my butt in the wheelchair, as I was twisting, my foot pushed on the front of the wheelchair foot plate thing and like made it slide backwards, which made my foot go with it, and I went down to the ground and
fuzzies.
Yeah, it's like I feel it on my face too. Where are they coming from? Maisie was blowing some up in the air and catching them. I don't know where they're from. But anyways, yeah, it was so right at the last second. I remember, I know this sounds like broken recorder if you've heard me talking already, but like I thought I made it all the way down to the ground fine, and it wasn't that bad of a fall. Like I kind of controlled my body, but then right at the last second, I heard and felt a big deep pop noise inside my body. I started getting it out.
Yeah, so anyways, I don't feel comfortable. It's freaky for me. It's super freaky for Dan. He's like having trauma now when he tries to go and get in and out of the van. Scared that that's gonna happen again. So aside from his 2002 Corvette that he's had for years and only fits him and passenger, we don't have a vehicle right now that's low enough. We have the Hummer that's going to be my driver, but that's lifted as well, and it's probably harder to get into than the van. So our next quest would be to sell our van so that we can hurry and get into one that's not gonna be a problem and cause more accidents with Dan falling and stuff. So, and just be easier and less painful for him to get in and out of, and not cause us so much stress and worry and concern. Because I'm not gonna lie, just walking out to the van and opening the door yesterday was giving me not good feelings and stress because of how that all happened. And Dan called me in a total panic, and I thought one of the kids had gotten run over or something, and I ran out and saw him laying on the ground, and his leg was partway under the van, and the door was open, and it was just not a nice scene, because we know what accidents like that mean for us as far as how it's going to affect our family and hospital stays and not being with the kids and recovery times and all the things. So
that was
it's
really
just,
worrisome
Bah.
right there. And like I had a meltdown, like of stress, just like freaked me out in there, and had a pretty rough bit of time.
yeah.
But
I'm going to read a couple comments real quick. Kitty Bennett says, glad to see you're doing well. You and your family are always in my prayers. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate that. We keep saying, but it's so true. Like I made a post when Dan first fell and, you know, within a few hours of him being at the hospital, just asking for prayers, and literally thousands of comments were coming in saying people were praying for us. And like, it's really hard to explain how much that buoys you up when you're in a really crappy spot. Like,
yeah, it gives
just
you a lot of
knowing
hope,
how many
for
people are
sure.
thinking and praying, and that God is aware of us, and that things are going to be okay, whatever okay looks like in the end. Like, it's going to work out. But yeah, so thank you, Kitty. Nana J says, hello, Dad and Andrea. So sorry to hear about this accident. I hope your recovery will be speedy. Take care, and God bless you and your family. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Zudi Blessing says, thank God you're home, and also both of you look great. May God continue his blessings upon you two and all your families. Yeah, thank you. We are super thankful to be home, and super, super thankful that it's not going to be a worse recovery than we were both anticipating. Like, I don't know, I was anticipating like a good 6-month recovery time that was going to set you back and make it so you couldn't have your shoulder surgery and all the other things. So.
What was stressful was like I got into the ER and got all that going, got X-rays, zapped, and then somebody said, "Okay, yeah, your leg's broken," and that was it. Like I never got to see anything. I didn't know how nasty it was. I didn't know what was going to be done to fix it, so we didn't know if it was just going to be like what it is now or like super extreme. It's actually a dumb story. I have broke my femur, this femur, another time. So it was like a long time ago, back in 1998, back in the 1900s, as our kids would say.
Do any of you have teenagers that refer to anything in the 19s as 1900s? It just sounds crazy because that's like our generations referred to the 1800s, and it seemed like so long ago. So it's so weird when they're like, you were born in the 1900s?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yes.
So, yeah, I had a construction accident, back then, that I fell 35 feet-ish down to the hard packed ground and broke my femur and cracked my C1 vertebrae in my neck, and then tore tendons and ligaments in both of my shoulders. And so I know that was like the start of shoulder problems, because I've been talking about my shoulders hurting like all through my 20s and 30s, and now that I'm in my late 30s, it's still there. And then I added the wheelchair to it, and man, yeah, this one's like complete bone on bone. The surgeons say, like, as far as like rating, if it was like 10 out of 10, needing surgery extremely bad, and mine's like an 11. Like, it needs to be replaced. I just keep putting it off. So, and now I'm paying the price for it.
And putting it off because once he gets operated on, that is going to be a several month recovery time. He's going to be in a sling for a long time.
Like,
And
speaking
he's
of
literally
that,
only going to have one limb that's usable, so that's going to be rough.
like, speaking of that, this is the brace that I was given this brace by one of the surgeons when I scheduled one of my appointments that I canceled.
Let's get that on there and see.
And since I don't have the use of my legs, I don't really enjoy the idea of not being able to. I have not opened this yet, so it's just been sitting here since last April.
Yeah, we asked the surgeon if we could have a sling so that he could like put it on and get a real idea of what life was going to be like without his use of his arm.
I don't know how
So he could practice.
I don't know how to get myself set up in here. Maybe
Okay, I'm going to read a few more comments. Joy Sturk says, glad you're home. Billy says, hello, finally caught alive. I broke my tib fib in half like 4 years ago, and they put a metal rod in the main bone in my leg. Yeah, Dan's tib fib is broken on that same leg too from a long time ago, way back in the 1900s too.
Yeah. No, that was in the 2000s. That was in 2004.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay. Early 2000s.
This is silly, like not knowing how to go.
Then Billy says, it's so scary thinking you might be immobilized for a while. Yeah, it's terrifying for both of us. Mostly Dan. But if anyone out there is a caregiver, you know that it affects the whole family when things like this happen. So Miriam says hello from Mexico. Hi, Miriam. Michelle says sending prayers for a speedy recovery. Thank you. Star says I'm glad you're home and that your leg is healing, and I send you healing hugs for recovery, Dan.
No, thanks.
Gretchen from New Hampshire. Thanks, Gretchen. And she says I love you guys. Ashley says hello from Kentucky. I've never been to Kentucky. Have you? You haven't. Sounds like
Ouch.
a fun state.
Does it go like this, do you think? I feel like I'm getting pretty close.
What's this? That's
What?
just like to keep space.
I think so that your arm can like...
Oh yeah, rest on it.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know where the instructions are or
We're gonna
anything.
sign on here and think you're already
Yeah.
got broken leg.
But it has
broken
like
arm.
the ball thing right here to keep your blood going. And
Oh, that's interesting.
but I think I got it set up right.
CMD says, yep, had rotator cuff surgery 12/24 and just found out yesterday that it's torn again. Next surgery is
right,
replacement.
That's not cool, man.
No good. Do you use a wheelchair? Are you paralyzed at all as well? Or like we haven't yet talked to anyone that's paralyzed from the waist down and also had a shoulder replacement and lost their use of their arm for a while. So we're curious what that looked like.
The problem is right now, so if I had this shoulder replaced, like I can't use it for anything supposedly. I just have to leave it. And like we got to transfer to bed and to the toilets, and I don't know how to do that with just one arm. Already I'm getting stressed out. I don't like that. So I don't know what to do. I'll take this off for now. I don't need any more stress. I'm going to have a heart attack. So
Like, I'm stressed. I don't know what to do. Well, yeah, just take it off. We're not there yet.
yeah, we'll just throw this over here in the
Probably
corner.
not the time to do it right after you broke your leg.
What kind of...
Have you thought of the idea to install a lift to pick you up? Like in our van, it's just not, our van is not situated in a way that could be done, right?
Right.
We actually talked to some people that run a place that does, it's called Compassion Mobility. If you're in Utah, they're great. But that's what they specialize in, is making things accessible, making vehicles accessible and stuff. And they said that our van, there weren't any lifts that worked with our van,
Yeah.
right? For the driver's seat.
There's nothing that would pass because of the crash test ratings and things that, like, the other vans, like the Sprinter vans and stuff, are set up a certain way that the lifts can mount up and be crash safe. So, anyways, hello in London. What's up? Yeah, so just a crazy time here, you guys.
Life is crazy, but you know what? I was talking to my dad, like, Dan fell and then he got taken to the hospital by ambulance, and our 14-year-old daughter went with him. I stayed behind with the 2 little girls, and I had been like sick in bed for the day and a half previous to that and hadn't showered or gotten ready, and I was just not feeling right. And so I stayed behind to try and get ready and figure out if I was feeling good enough to get up there. But anyway, so I was talking to my dad, telling him what was going on, and he was asking me he's like, "You're stressing me out," like just joking, like acting like his stress was more than ours was. And I was like, "Yeah, sorry about that." And then he's like, "I don't know how you get through this." And I was like, I literally just think 30 seconds ahead. I'm not even joking. Like my brain has figured out how to cope with these types of situations because they've happened so frequently that it literally goes into a mode where it's just like, okay, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? What am I doing now? What's going on right now? What news did Dan find out? And like, I can't think ahead on, oh my gosh, what does this mean? When is Dan's going to be casted? Is his infection going to amp up again and hurt this? Is he going to have surgery? Is he going to have to be in physical therapy several times a year, a week for a year? Is it going to be a several month recovery? Is this going to blah, blah, blah. Like there's so many places your brain can go, but it works so good to just think in 30-second increments, at least at the start of something like that. And then you can move on to a minute and 2 minutes and then, okay, what's happening in the next few hours or whatever. But it makes it so that you can stay present and so that the anxiety and fear and all the things that could be happening aren't happening. So there's a tip for you guys.
If you guys have something important you want to say, you don't want your comment to get ignored or whatever or missed, make sure you do a super chat on there. Those of you who have been here for a while, thank you. We love and really appreciate you guys. Those that want to really amp up and join the crusade and want to sign up for memberships, that also helps us stand out when you make comments.
And it helps our family.
And it really does help our family. So if you want to sign up, I think it's like whatever, $3 or $4 a month.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. If you can share the live right now to somebody you know, do it. If not, just tap the like or whatever it is on the screen. What is it?
As soon as we get
have a heart.
A few more members, we're gonna start doing member only lives so that we can have more intimate chat conversations. But yeah, there's a few perks that come along with being a member. But yeah, ultimately it helps our family as well and helps us to keep going on our social media and be able to have the time to do it. So Be Brave says, "Oh no, what happened? I'm late to the chat." So Dan fell getting out of our van the other day and broke his finger. His femur.
This one?
That reminds me. Our 4-year-old, when we picked her up from preschool the other day, she said that she told her teacher that Dad had 3 broken bones. He broke his finger and his leg and his back. And she was telling me today that she was worried that you re-broke your back.
Oh, days. That's funny.
Because she's like, he broke 3 things.
We have some local business owners down the road that are really good friends and kind that brought us some Thanksgiving goodies yesterday. That was really cool. We have a floral place down there that is on the corner that noted all the ambulances zooming by and was worried on the day that I got hurt that it was coming here. And
yeah,
for some reason her gut was, her name's Chris and owns Posh Petal Floral down there. She was thoughtful, and then there's some more friends that own the real estate company.
I can't remember the name.
Gosh dang it! Hold on, my brain's not working yet.
Starts with a H, I think.
Yeah, it is Heritage or something.
Mm-mm.
No,
that's not it.
Oh, it's right there on the corner. I can see it. Anyways, I love this community. It's really cool. My arm still sucks from that IV. It infiltrated at some point, and I've had a huge bump here. Now it's wearing down, but it's still really sensitive and still. I don't know at what point it went bad. I didn't want to say anything because it was this last year. I seriously have had like the worst anxiety and have been like getting stuck multiple times. Let's see, like on a normal 4 or 5 night stay at the hospital, it was like somewhere between 7 and 9 IVs because they go bad, and then they have to use the ultrasound stuff to like do mine, which is crazy because like you guys can probably see my veins on there. Hey,
Yay, Billy B signed up for a membership.
Awesome, Billy. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it. That's seriously, it's really means a lot in a lot of ways. So thank you for signing up. That's really cool.
It's so fun to see the members on here because it puts a little thing by your name, and that always stands out, and we get to know you guys by name, which is cool.
And the members like crew up, and it's going to be even more like when we have our member only lives. It like brings such a camaraderie, and it's just really cool. You'll see. Thanks, Billy. I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah. And welcome to the family.
Welcome to the new revolution.
Billy B said, I'm in the UK. The medication problems you guys had would drive me insane. I saw somebody else from the UK comment on our Instagram post about the same thing, and they said that in the UK, they like it immediately put you on all your medications that you're on currently, which only makes sense.
Seriously.
And then they go from there to, for those that haven't heard, like when we went into the hospital, Dan has adhesive arachnoiditis, which is a extreme chronic pain condition that's super, it's like one of the most painful conditions you can have. He's on very high doses of medications to help control the pain on a daily basis, just normal without other things going on. And when we went into the hospital, they refused, the entire time we were there, they refused to give him the proper pain management.
When I was in the ER doctor pulled his head out of his ass and read the records because they can connect with the hospital that I'm always at. And he actually went in and read the report and was like, okay, I see what you're talking about. And he like upped what they were doing already. And then he assured me that the other people upstairs were going to be just as accommodating, which was not. It sucked so bad. Went from my normal medication and pain stuff to basically withdrawing and dealing with the pain and having to fight, not being able to sleep. And
he laid in bed for a day and a half with a broken femur, like with his leg tied to the end of the bed.
A day and a half or the second day? Hold on.
Yeah, because you got there Friday at like 4:30. Surgery was Sunday at like 7:45, 8. So
I had a string tied to the bottom of a boot on my foot, and that went to a pulley and then down to the ground, and it had like some sandbags on it to help pull my leg out, which was like just it sucked because it was like my knee would be like over here, and my foot would be like the opposite way, and like the only way to like get some of the pain to calm down, I'd have to like move it, and I can feel it like crunching inside my body, and
it was not good. So we were trying to tell them, like, even without a broken femur, like
finger, you were really concentrating.
No, I was gonna say fibia.
Oh.
Anyways, even without a broken femur, like he has to maintain this pain medication regimen in order to just stay comfortable and functional. And anyways, we begged, and they could see the records from his doctors prescribing things and how much they prescribed and everything else, and they still wouldn't honor it. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And they didn't give him his antibiotics that he's on long term to keep his cellulitis infection.
That's insane, dude.
And then we got reprimanded several times because he had medication in his backpack in the hospital room, which, like, anyway, it was crazy. Being
in a wheelchair life, like I have all my stuff in my backpack, from like bathroom supplies to medications and everything, because all day long, like, I have to manage and do different things. So anyways, yeah, dude was tripping and just being stupid, and Andrea finally went gorilla mode on him, and it's funny, but
people need to know.
Yeah, they do.
Like for future reference, like he's sitting there. I had asked a question, like, because the surgeon wanted to put him on a different antibiotic just post surgery, like protocol to make sure there no infections came in. And so I had talked to the surgeon and asked if the ones he was on would cover it, but I couldn't remember the name of them. So later I asked the nurse and I said, he's got his medications here. Can he just take those ones instead? And he's like, you have medications here in the room? I'm like, yes. Like he fell,
Scary antibiotics.
he fell, broke his leg, loaded up in an ambulance, took his stuff with him, and it's just his bag that he carries around. Like that's his life. He has medications that he takes all day, every day.
The other thing, when they went to cut my shorts off the second day or whatever in there, third day, to go down for surgery, like, I was just seeing if I had any in my pocket. When I do, like, my shots, like, whatever, I'll afterwards, instead of throwing them on the ground, wherever we're at outside, I'll put them in my pocket. But they went to cut my short. I know. I'm just kidding. They went to cut my shorts off, and I felt those. I took it, wrapped it in a tissue, and put it on the table next to me. And
they threatened to call security.
yeah, the dude come in.
They threatened
afterwards.
to call security. They said we should be calling security on you because you have your medications in the room. And they said, and they would take it and put it in a lockbox, and it's extremely hard to get out.
You wouldn't have got my medication from me. I guarantee it.
Okay, people. Anyway, some of the things were just.
We did have
wild.
one person that was like at least heart-wise compassionate and was like, I would use your own stuff too if I was you, but I won't say who or what point that was because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but for having a brain in their head. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. They should do it like they do in the UK. Common sense. If somebody is on medications daily, you have to maintain them.
You have doctors, you have proof, you have like the medication bottles that show like all the dosing and everything. Like,
yeah. And
doctors wrote that stuff, not my neighbors, not my
So why don't the
kids.
Doctors trust the other doctors and like say,
That's really
well,
dumb.
if that doctor has you on that and has for the last 10 years, maybe we should
Even if you're duping that doctor, like it's not on them to play detective, like whatever, dude. Like just honor it.
Billy wants to know if it's a cost thing or a liability thing. It would stop me going to the hospital unless it was really serious.
Dude,
it's a liability thing because
for them.
Especially, I don't know how it is in other countries, but here in the United States, they have like a fear of opiates, a fear of pain
drug
medications,
addicts and stuff.
It's gotten so bad to where doctors literally fear prescribing anything because there's, I guess, so many negative repercussions that could happen to them if something goes wrong. But again, to me, it shouldn't be on the doctor, like the admitting doctor's head. It should, if anything went wrong at that level of medication, it would be on your primary doctor's head who's been prescribing it to you forever. Like they're just maintaining it. But
yeah, it's
anyways,
crazy.
None of it makes sense. It's frustrating. And yeah, he said he wouldn't go to the hospital unless it was really serious. Yeah, we try to avoid the hospital at all costs, but when your leg's broken in half, you can't really stay away.
Yeah, like even in our driveway, we're like, take us to our regular hospital, which is like an extra hour away, like driving, and they're like, well, we can't because of the severity of the break, and we've got to go somewhere close. And I was like, no, we're gonna be stuck playing this medicine game, and it sucks. And like,
they literally could see the records from the other hospital, though. They're on the same system, and so they could see everything, and they still wouldn't do it. Anyways, Joy says, I always carry my meds with me as well. The healthcare has gotten so bad. Yeah, we love the University of Utah, and I was thinking that while we were experiencing all these negative things at the other hospital, that I think one of the reasons that they're so good there and they're so attentive and so just they're a teaching hospital, and they have like people shadowing them, and they have like residents people, and so they're all like on their A game and really trying to be the best they can be. So that's a perk of being there. But Ashley's Coloring Life says, Dan, I just now had my stomach doctor laugh at me and said nothing is wrong with me, and my husband is looking for a different one.
That's crazy.
We feel you, Ashley. We've had that happen too. Like literally, like snarky, smirking. Like we had one pain management doctor tell Dan, well, you'd feel really good if you were a heroin addict and I kept giving you heroin, you'd feel really good too. Like literally likening him to a heroin addict.
Because we were looking for a doctor to continue with my regimen that the specialist had like set up, and actually finally after 4.5 years of like dealing with screaming pain all day long, just like
literally
horrific.
He would jump out of his wheelchair on the floor in the fetal position, like screaming in pain for hours on end.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad. We would be there was one time in Costco where he was doubled over, like screaming in pain, and like he was having electric shocks and looked like he almost was having a seizure. And like adults were stopping. I wasn't there with them, but adults were stopping to ask the kids if their dad was okay, or if he needed help, or if they needed to call 911. And the kids were all so used to it that they were just like, no, he's fine. It will pass in a minute. Like he's good. And they're all looking at him like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with this guy? Because it was so bad. So yeah, the pain medication regimen that we went to California to a specialist.
Once a month, lots of money.
Yeah, once a month. We had to fly there for a long time to see a specialist that specialized in this condition that none of the doctors or nurses had even heard of at this last hospital stay. They hadn't even heard of the pain condition he had, and they weren't willing to like trust the other doctors that treat him.
That's pretty crazy.
But anyway, so yeah, it's not like he was just willy-nilly put on this pain medication. Like it's something that's been tried and true, and years has been helping him. So
yeah, it's pretty dumb.
It is so frustrating so that doctor in California had retired, and so then we were in a scary spot where we had to try and find another doctor. And so back to Ashley's comment, like we were calling all over every pain clinic we could find in the surrounding states and our own state, and several of them laughed at us over the phone and were like, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way we're prescribing you that. That's a joke. So anyways, Amber says, when I had my hysterectomy, I had to ask for my heart medication because I take it every day, and they weren't going to give it to me at first, but then I told them I have to take it every day. It's wild. It's so crazy.
Like they had like at the University of Utah, the pharmacist person like comes up and gets all like your record of all your medications you're on, plus verifies it with their system that they already have, and then they start giving you those medications throughout your stay.
We have got to figure, there's got to be.
But there wasn't anything like that. Like they had the pharmacist person come up and do all that, and then there wasn't ever like a follow through, like antibiotics, like anything, like whatever, and nothing.
Who would you? What's like the highest level of whoever? Like who controls? Who controls that? And it trickles down into the different hospitals and stuff. Like there's got to be somebody that we could petition or fight or try. Like I mean, like fight for people's rights. Like I know that we're not the only ones that have had this situation. No. So many people have this every single day. It should be standard protocol to immediately put people on the medications that they're on at home. No questions asked.
We had a home health nurse here that used to be a nurse at the place that up at the hospital we were at. And like with the hospitals in the area, like you would think that it's the hospital you want to go to. It's like the nicest one. That's where we had our babies, and like it looks the nicest and newest and like everything. But then he was saying, man, like him and his wife, they were both nurses or whatever, and they said if they ever ended up hurt or needing medical care, that they did not want to end up there at the hospital we went to, which is stupid. And then that guy that was telling me a story, or that he had another nurse that was like 15 years or whatever into a career, and then had to be a patient, and
Oh, that
then
was someone's comment on our post yesterday.
oh,
She said
okay,
she had been a nurse for 20 years, and then she was a patient, and then she was there with her mom in the hospital, and then she was taking like a 6-month hiatus from being a nurse because she just could not handle how the medical system is working right now.
yeah.
But yeah, like if anyone has any ideas on who, like Dan and I have potentially could have some pull and be able to speak to the right people because of the social media platforms that we have and the amount of followers we have and stuff. Like people will pay attention to us sometimes when, like, if we try and message famous people or whatever, a lot of times we'll get responses. But I feel like we're in a position where we could make a difference, but I don't know who. And I'm willing to fight for it. Like, you guys, I don't know. I guess the more you watch us, you'll find out I'm a stubborn. Like, when it comes to protecting my family and, like, I get pretty feisty at the hospitals because I can't handle seeing Dan in pain for no reason. Like, there's no reason for it. He doesn't need to be like that. So, and I feel for all the other people that have been in that situation too, and it's just
Thing that
unnecessary.
sucks really bad is people that don't have or don't dare to advocate for themselves. Like, had a surgeon when I was up there this time. It was like, okay, so we couldn't get him to bump my medication to where I would normally be for my regular life, but this guy that was controlling me getting my medication or not wanted to perform surgery, like a whole extra. Okay, hold on, dude. Okay, I'll be professional. Gosh dang. He wanted to do a whole extra surgery and go in, put me under anesthesia, move my leg and move me, and
Because the surgeon that could perform the real surgery wasn't on shift until the next day.
and so wanted to do a surgery to go in and create a pinning system so that he could put traction on my leg in a different way than the pulley and sandbag. And I was like, so that's the only thing this surgery is wanting to do. And he's like, yeah, that's the only way I can help out. Like,
A whole nother surgery.
we don't want that. We're not doing that.
So Dan's
So
laying
you're
in bed
refusing? Yeah.
with his leg literally broken in half in a spiral fracture, in pain, his normal nerve pain, plus the pain that this femur is causing, plus the added nerve pain that the femur thing is causing. And because the surgeon isn't on shift until the next day, rather than giving him his normal dose of pain medication to stay on top of the pain, he wants to do a whole nother surgery. That means moving down with his broken leg from that bed to the surgical table, back to his bed.
The risks of anesthesia, where you could die, right?
That means cutting him open. That means going in and tampering. That means recovering from that surgery and all the things to relieve pain when he wasn't willing to prescribe the pain medication that Dan takes regularly at home. It's just, I was like,
I swear
that's not happening.
I swear that's the jacked up medical system, like that other surgeon with my infection.
Yeah, they just
where
want
they
to
just want to
operate.
get paid so he can do this surgery. That's a simple surgery probably to him. It's like my friends that are mechanics at dealerships. Like, okay, so for this surgery, if you get it done, it's a lot of like 2-hour period at this rate. So I can whatever, like, can make X amount of dollars if I get him to say okay, and I know it's an easy surgery that's not even important. And, but anyways,
I was
holy
like,
crap.
I looked at him. I was like, the only purpose of that surgery is to treat pain. Yeah. I'm like, but you're not willing to give him the proper pain medication. Like, what? And it's not, again, I would totally understand if they were just taking his word for it. Like, hey, I'm on this high dose of opiates at home, but It's not. Like, they had it in their computer system. They could see every
Hospital to
prescription they had,
hospital.
all the things, and they weren't. But let's do a whole nother surgery to help with pain. No, nope.
I had a surgeon when I had my first big leg infection, and it was like, first they're like, oh, we can't handle anything like that here, and then the next day, when there wasn't a spot for me up at the U, he's like, okay, we've got to get you into we've got to get you down to the surgery area. It's already prepped and ready to go. You just have to sign this paper, and then like I can go in and do. Basically, they were wanting to cut up both sides of my leg, like all the way up from like my foot up to my groin, and open it up to look for infection and scrape out infection, and then after a whole bunch of different things and a cool story and all this other stuff, like end up finding out that you can find that particular infection if you do an MRI. And so I was like, can't we just do an MRI to make sure I don't have a bone infection like that you're talking about in my toes? And they're like, yeah, we can. So like we did an hour or whatever hour setup and scan for my MRI and found out that there was no infection. And holy fudge, we didn't, oh my gosh, I'm being good. We didn't have to do his exploratory freaking cut up both sides of my legs surgery. Insane. There's no way that thing would have healed. That's so stupid.
Yeah. The amount of things that we've been through in the hospital system, like, it seriously makes my heart like just hurt for people that are going through the same thing.
And
But
just say, okay.
yeah, that was what I was gonna say, is that like we've been through it for years, for 13 years now. We've been through so many hospital stays, so many procedures, so many different things, so many pain doctors, all the things. But for people that are like, this is their first go around, people trust the doctors, they trust the nurses, and they don't know or understand that they can advocate for themselves, and that they don't just have to like blindly follow everything that the doctors say. So like when we turned down that surgery, I was thinking, like, if this was somebody that's not familiar with the hospital systems, like, they would totally have just gone back for this completely unnecessary surgery. More anesthesia in your system, it takes forever to get out, more trauma to your body. Like, it's just, ugh, it makes me crazy. But if anybody knows where to start to advocate for that, I don't want to go to the local hospital. I want to advocate in like the government, whoever's in charge. I don't know anything about how that stuff works on the higher level, but if anybody does, please let me know, because I want to fight it. Billy says, if you did that other surgery, you would have got the needed surgery you would have got the needed surgery the next day. They would have said, no, wait a couple days. Yeah, probably. Like, oh, you got to recover from that surgery first. Abba says, a cousin of mine went to something similar. She's on hospice and was visiting family from one state to another. There was an agreement on how to store the narcotics. Yeah, it's crazy. Anissa says, I have to say, you don't look like you're in as much pain as yesterday. I hope that you never have to experience that crap again. That was ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, all of the negative things aside, like, we are so blessed, and we are feeling so beyond thankful that Dan's recovery is going to be so much easier than we anticipated.
I broke my femur. Like, it's fat, and it makes me really slow at running right now. And I look really fat too. Holy crap, dude. But like I can like bend my leg, like do stuff, whatever. It's unreal that.
And all he has these 3, and then one up here where they made the incisions to do the rods and screws and everything.
Don't try to make me show that one. Just kidding.
But yeah, we are so thankful. Like, both of us had pictured so much worse for recovery, and he's gonna have home health come in and do physical therapy, which just is going to be
To stretch my leg.
stretching his
so
leg
whatever.
and doing that so it doesn't get stiff. But other than that, like there's no weight restrictions, there's no movement restrictions, nothing. And being at home, of course, he has better pain control than he does at the hospital, so we're good.
Well, unless I just do my own pain control while I'm at the hospital. But that gets sketchy and frustrating because then you're like, well, I'm getting some stuff, so then you don't want to like be like dosing yourself with your own medication, and then all of a sudden they come in and do something
decide
and
they're going to give you a bigger dose.
then, yeah, like when I woke up after we finally, so we had to push this clicker button for the pain medication. Like you have to push it every 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And so at one point, Andrea and I both like slept through the alarm, and Andrea had been up for like 2 days already, like pushing the stupid button.
Yeah, that's the thing we didn't mention here is that they ended up putting him on a pain pump situation that you had to push the button every freaking 10 minutes was the first night.
And if you didn't, like you fell asleep, then like
I literally had an alarm set for every 10 minutes all through the night. 10 minutes. Wake up, I'd push it for him. 10 minutes, I'd push it for him. Because I wanted him to be able to rest.
But they were like, it's okay, we'll let you do it this time. It's like, oh.
And then the next day,
you get to
they
pick
changed
what
it.
rules you break.
They changed it to a little bit higher dose, which still wasn't anywhere near enough, every 20 minutes. And so then it was every 20 minutes, all through that day, all through the next night, all through the next day.
So we fell asleep one night for like 2 hours, knowing that you're supposed to push the button every 20 minutes to get a fraction of the medication that I should be at anyway. So I'm like already like at a level of pain. Sorry, I sound like a whine fest in here, but so I was already hurting. Like I never got my pain under control except for this one time because so after the ER, once I got to the floor, so we overslept, and then it was like, okay, dude, it hurt. Finally, got them to agree to do a little, like a second dose of nothing. But anyways, like I ended up having to just get my own medication. I was like, no, I need to catch up on this. This is freaking crazy. So like both of my legs were like locking up and hurting, and because we didn't hit the stupid button for 2 hours. Jeez, what is that? How many doses did we miss? 20, 40, 60, like 6 doses, 7 doses. You can't catch up on stuff like that. You don't just catch up on it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I finally took my own medication, and whatever their little dumb ass pump was doing. Sorry, I'm really bitter. But like for like an hour, like I had it where it was like felt calm for a minute.
He was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally not feeling pain in my leg. It's like feeling peaceful for the first time since I've been here.
Oh, yeah,
Just such a joke.
Saying it was peaceful feeling.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Billy says, I remember you saying you prayed about whether or not to do the surgery and God led you the way. Yes. Billy is a hardcore member here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I think we would have, he would still be probably having all kinds of issues from that.
Are you talking
cutting
about,
his leg open when he had the cellulitis?
Had the coolest experience with that whole thing. It was so cool. But yeah, I'd love to share that story again if we ever, whenever we can. It's just, yeah, I didn't know what to do. Like the world was saying, do it. But we knew that it was going to be scary anyways.
Yeah. God is amazing. Anissa says, again, I'm sorry I missed yesterday's live. LOL, you always have the last laugh. I don't think that you'll be running like you were in your prime ever again. I'm sorry to say. You have a past because you're in pain. No one can tell you otherwise. Yeah, Dan likes to make jokes. When the surgeon was talking to us before surgery, I told him I was expecting and fully anticipating that Dan would be walking after his surgery, so no pressure. But
yeah, he said that. Yeah, there weren't any restrictions.
Yeah, Joyce Joy says, I was shocked you were able to bend your leg. So are we. The surgeon said that
It was so weird.
if he had to choose what bone to break, it would be the femur because there's no joints involved or anything like that. So it's just a super quick recovery, which I don't know. I know that people have said femur surgeries are not like that. So Dan
It's
must have broke
crazy.
it in like the perfect place that it is a simple recovery. I'm
I didn't have to do like a
imagining,
big body cast or anything crazy.
yeah,
Or any...
imagining that if it's super close to the hip or something, it's probably a different story, but I don't know.
You need to be a what? A patient?
Patient. Gimp 89 says, would nerve blocks work?
So really, really cool experience with that. So I've been so afraid in so many ways through the years. Like we've been told that things won't work because of the adhesive arachnoiditis. Like as far as like a longer term.
For his nerve pain.
Yeah, for the nerve pain. So like everything's so fused together where they would want to try to fix things that they can't tell which muscles would or where to go, like which nerves send and which ones receive, and if they screw up, it can cause way worse pain. And so I did not like I investigated and researched fully and like talked myself out of taking that chance. But we were up there for this, and we had this guy in this team in there that was ready to give me a nerve block up at the hospital, and like we kept him in there for like a while, just grilling him with every question and every scenario and every fear. And they're like, about the time when they were like ready to just give up and run out, like had like a feeling like, okay, things are gonna be okay, like try it. And like given where it was at and the explanations and everything and the word of the dude that was doing it, like I was like, okay. He's like, you can watch right here on the screen with me, you'll see, make sure that I won't do anything. If I hit anything, you'll see it. Like if I hit, yeah, like you're talking like arteries and veins and nerves, and if they touch the wrong nerves, then you're screwed. And
That lady was so nice too. The whole time he was doing it, she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's it.
That's
Absolute
the-
perfect
Yeah.
spot. It could not be any more perfect," because she knew how worried we were about it.
yeah, she was like being really overcompensating with care that way. It was really cute.
The
But
lady that was helping him.
so they filled up a bunch of that nerve block on one side of the thing of nerves, which is like, it's like a band of nerves that comes like through your, right here through my groin. So they like had this like long, like this long of a needle to stuff down in through my groin in here.
It was long and nasty, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah, like stuck it down in there, and it was beautiful. Like it seriously like gave me a lot of help on that really rough break. I didn't realize how I realized excuse me, I realized it was, I still have a throat from the tube. I realized it was helping, like, because my irritated threshold and everything was like lowered, but then the nerve block only lasts for like 13 to 18 hours somewhere. It's kind of a big window, depends on the person. But like I woke up the next morning at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was really getting to be quite painful, and like I could tell that it had worn off, and that my leg was also like moved, which sucked. So like I had to like realign things, where before with the nerve block I couldn't tell that it was like screwy and skittywampus. So it did work. It provided
Frozen.
there we go. We're back.
I don't know why I was frozen. Summer said that she'll have to find it again, but she saw a video with new research about adhesive arachnoiditis, and it was on a well-vetted page. So I stuck
I've heard
my email address there, Summer. So if you can find it and send it to us, that would be awesome.
I heard of a new kind of stimulator to try also, that actually talks about adhesive arachnoiditis. Like, it's crazy. So I really want to look into it. I keep saying it, but I haven't
What-
made an appointment yet.
What is it?
It's the DGR,
Oh, that.
the DGR, the gangling root.
Dangle. Joy says my worst fear is to fall out of my wheelchair while transferring and break a bone. I'm paralyzed too. Yeah. That's, I mean, since Stan's been paralyzed, I think that's been one of your biggest fears is breaking your femur. So
Yeah.
it's like, because we have a friend who's paralyzed that broke his femur just by like leaning on his leg while he was putting his pants on or something.
Put his shoe on.
Oh, his shoe. Because obviously when you're using a wheelchair and not using your bones like normal, they get more brittle. But
And then I read somebody else's story yesterday that was it was a wife of a guy in a wheelchair that was saying like after about 10 years or whatever that her husband was like had put they were on vacation and he put his foot up on his femur and like they both heard it like snap his femur just from putting his leg up there.
yeah.
Like I've been doing like the bone density scans and all that, but I think the problem with this was that it was hollowed out once before from that other rod. Like it didn't break where the old break was. That section of the bone was still like a lot thicker than the rest of it. It's kind of crazy. So
Yeah. I got to go pick up little mama from preschool.
dang, you're so pretty. Right? Seriously.
Stop.
So pretty. And I just have to act like it's normal all day. So.
Okay.
Oh, there was a thing. So really cool. Way squirrel off topic. But when I was setting up the live, I saw an article a post by a big research company, whatever, that was talking about disrupting like history as they know it. And I guess this exploration group put in a bunch of research into the Red Sea after like all these different individual reports of finding like human bones and horse bones and weapons and round wheels and stuff like in the bottom of the Red Sea. They seriously, like, I'm going to finish watching it, have found like a trail of chariots and horses and bones of people and like everything, like the chariots, the axles, the wheels, like in like
the
100.
parting of the Red Sea.
Yes. So they're like, people have been like trying to keep it silenced for years, like all these scientists and stuff that have like, they actually spent like $10 million to try to like stifle these like individual reports that were coming in. And so this other crew went through and brought up like all sorts of footage like showing it. So it's really cool. It's insane. Like I was watching it and it's so cool to see all that stuff down there and all the coral and like the different axle
That's crazy.
wheels and all the like.
What kind of a site was that on? You always gotta, especially with AI, you always gotta like look at stuff like that.
It's a research group that was like posting their stuff on there. But
Billy says it's talking about being in pain make your pain more noticeable.
is that a question you're saying, or does it?
It's a question.
Yeah, it does. Like, it does make it like spike up even. What's the word? Like not my own focus, but like secondarily, like I was stressing out trying to find the tripod so we could do the live, and like still like stressing out. Like anytime my nerve pain starts like getting up, and I know Andrea's getting ready to go, I have this new thing where like these fingers go numb and like get crappy blood flow and like all of a sudden turn white. And Andrea found the term for it or whatever, but like stress and cold can cause it, but like it goes like bright white like through here and like it really numb. But just from like the stress of like trying to hurry and find the thing, it was like all freaking out. It's just crazy. But like you can see it's white right now. I'm thinking talking about it, but
Yeah. All right.
all right.
Thank Thanks for chatting, guys.
Yeah, but I'll
See you
wrap
tomorrow,
things
hopefully.
up so that I've got some.
Love you.
Love you. Whoa, your tongue is so long. Oh, she's terrible. Anyways, now, now we can talk about all the good stuff. Just kidding. I don't know what that would be. So I need to wrap this up, though. I've got some friends that were a friend, a good friend that was wanting to come over today to help me winterize all my crap outside. I've got some friends and neighbors that are also like in our church community that are wanting to come over. Oh my gosh, it's hurting. That are wanting to come over and help me knock out all my wintertime stuff, because I have a bunch of stuff that I just need to get done, and like it's overwhelming to be stuck in the house and not out doing it. And now I can kind of get out there and do it a little bit with the fact that my leg is bendable, and but I can't be completely unsmart and be out there as if it hadn't happened. So I need to still keep it in perspective and be smart about what I do, and get out there and just focus on the little things. But friends that want to come over, and this friend that was coming over today is gonna come give me a hand. I've got to do like a bunch of yard stuff, raking leaves, spreading fertilizer, putting four-wheelers and lawnmowers and all that stuff away. It's just crazy. So I'm glad that there's so many people that are willing to help out. I just seriously feel like it's frustrating, because I'm like, I used to be the guy that could go out and help and serve and do everything for everybody. And like in the wintertime, I would like clear all the snow for all my neighbors and mow the extra lawns if they weren't doing it, and help fix all their cars and do all the stuff. Oh yeah, shoot, thanks babe. All the different things. So anyways, my mind just totally went blank when I saw that. Anyways, I need to get this all under control and done outside. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give Zach, if you're listening, man. I apologize if it went longer than normal. We were getting a late start. Like, I seriously did not sleep at all last night. I just lay there staring at the ceiling till like 5 in the morning. So I'm gonna go and give Zach a shout, and then get outside and do some work. And then, gosh, my neighbors came over and like cleaned out my back garage, my storage garage, to put stuff in out there. People are just too kind, seriously. I just hate being the receiver of all that instead of the giver of all those things. And it just happens like multiple times, so it's like frustrating, but it's more than appreciated. I just feel like people are going to be like, oh my gosh, like, stop already. Stop being a lazy, crippled guy and whatever. So anyways, I'm going to go. Love you guys. Thanks for your support. Thanks, Billy, for signing up. Anybody else that wants to sign up, make sure you do it before you go. We have the memberships you can sign up for, and then we're going to make it much more beneficial for you. So let me know if there's any thoughts you have on in that way. And take it easy, and give plenty on YouTube. The amount of hope and inspiration you guys is more than enough. Dude, seriously, you're too kind, man. It's nice that you have a community close by. It really is, Billy. Like, we are really blessed with the fact that that everybody is willing to help us out. Is overwhelming in a really positive way. It's just, I don't want to be like the charity case all the time. But it is what it is. So I'll just keep on giving the blessings of service to people, I guess. And anyways, much love, you guys. Thanks for being here. Awesome. Thanks, Summer. Thanks, Greg. Everybody else, we'll catch you on the next one, all right? Much love. Have a good day. Be blessed.